Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ingrid Qualls, and I am IBIE's Trade Show Senior Manager. Today is our first webinar, exhibitor training webinar, and we're super excited to have these webinar series. Today, I will be presenting along with Alyssa Stubbs, who is our exhibits coordinator, and I am going to let her take it away. Go ahead, Alyssa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Ingrid. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to familiarize yourself with the GoToWebinar dashboard. On this slide, it shows a list of the available widgets to you. I would like to remind everyone that all attendees are muted, and if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them into the question box on your screen. Any troubleshooting comments can be shared in the chat widget, and someone from the IBIE team will get back to you. This webinar will be recorded and it will be posted on bakingexpo.com's website. Today we will go over the space selection email that went out last week, IBIE's space at the Las Vegas Convention Center, how to navigate the floor plan, what you should do to prepare for your space selection day and time, and what to expect when it's your turn to select space. We will also review a couple rules and regulations to know when selecting your booth space, and we will finish with reviewing important dates and have a live Q&A. Let's get started. On March 7th, companies eligible for priority space selection received an email from exhibits@bakingexpo.com with your scheduled call-in date and time. To be eligible for priority space selection, the company must be a member or a past IBIE 2022 exhibitor. Space selection for these exhibitors will take place March 18th through the 26th, 2024. In that email, there is a link to submit your intent to participate. Please fill this out so that we can confirm you have received your assigned space selection time. We ask that you RSVP using that link by tomorrow, March 13th. As a reminder, all space selection call-in times are in Central Time. If you did not receive your call-in date and time, please reach out to exhibits@bakingexpo.com and we will resend you the information. Next slide, please. IBIE will be in the North and West Hall in 2025. These halls are connected by a sky bridge over Paradise Road. Starting with the West Hall, taxi pickup and drop-off will be here at the front of the hall. Uber and Lyft services will be available at the back of the West Hall in the Diamond Lot. And the Diamond Lot will be one of the parking lots available for IBIE. The heart icon shows the exact location where attendees can access the new underground LVCC loop, where they will be transported to and from the North and West Halls in a Tesla. To get to the North Hall, you can access the Sky Bridge from the second floor of the West Hall. Once you walk across the Sky Bridge, you will find yourself on the second floor of the North Hall. Attendees will proceed down a set of escalators or elevators and will access the North Hall from one of the three entrances. Taxi pickup and drop-off will be here on Convention Center Drive at the front of the building. And Uber and Lyft services will be in the Silver Lot. Shuttles for IBIE 2025 will be confirmed at a later date. So next to the floor plan. To get to the floor plan, you can go to bakingexpo.com, click on the For Exhibitors tab, and then click on Floor Plan 2025. There is also a link to the floor plan in the email sent on March 7th. The floor plan shows both the West and North Hall on one screen. Here you can see how the two halls are oriented. The West Hall is oriented on an angle in comparison to the North Hall. The orientation you will see during your space selection will correlate to the way that attendees will walk into the hall and through the aisles, not as it is seen here. If you want to be in the North or West Hall and only want to focus on that floor plan, you can click on either of the blue halls you want to view. Each hall has multiple show features noted on the floor plan. The West Hall has the Snack and Pet Pavilions, the International Trade Center, including Great American Pie Festival, the Artisan Village, previously known as Artisan Marketplace, including World Bread Awards, and the new Wholesale Education Stage. The Business of Cannabis Education will be included in the Wholesale Education Stage. The North Hall has the Retail Bakers of America booth, the RBA Baker Center, and all hands-on sessions will take place in the North Hall. Education sessions will take place in both North and West Halls. The red lines are 20-foot aisles, and the blue lines are 10-foot wide aisles that cannot be crossed when creating booths. You can combine 10 by 10 spaces to get your desired booth space, and all utility ports are shown on the floor plan for your reference. Preparing for space selection. Prior to space selection, be sure to check the priority point document on the website located under For Exhibitors and Priority Point Policy. This is where you will see the full order of priority points. To ensure a smooth and time-efficient space selection, please be sure to practice navigating the floor plan ahead of time. Become familiar with the type of booth you are looking for example, an inline, peninsula, or an island, and understand you can combine different booths to achieve that booth type. The floor plan link is always live and reflects the space that has been selected to date. Space selection will begin Monday, March 18th, and the floor plan will be constantly changing following this date as companies select their booth space. Please be sure to check availability of booths the day before, hour before, and even minutes before your call-in time to ensure you have a list of booths in mind that will work for your company. Companies are selecting space every 5 minutes. Therefore, even if a booth looks to be open when you first call in, there's a chance it could be assigned by the time we speak to you over the phone. Be sure to have a list of your top 3 choices when you join the Zoom. The light purple spaces are available to select, and they will turn tan once they have already been reserved. After you select your booth space, it is important to keep an eye out on the floor plan to ensure you still like the spaces you have selected, as other booths will develop around you. IBIE will not notify you if a competitor chooses a booth space near you. If you are unhappy with your booth location at a later date, whether during space selection or in the weeks to follow, we are happy to move you to a different location based on availability. Next slide, please. On your designated date and time, click on the Zoom link that was sent in your space selection email. You will automatically be put into a waiting room until IBIE show management is available to assist you in selecting your booth space. Once we bring you into a Zoom room, we will connect you with one of our sales managers, Nicole, Lindsay, or Emily, who can share their screen to discuss the floor plan and available spots and chat through any questions that you may have about the space. Once you select your booth space, our show management team will rent it on the floor plan in real time. It only takes seconds to update so you can refresh the page and see your company's name on the floor plan right then and there. On space selection day, we will also have a breakout room set up for any exhibitor interested in learning more about our sponsorships. Rules and regulations. To view the full PDF of IBIE's rules and regulations, please go to bakingexpo.com, click on the tab for exhibitors, and then click on Exhibitor FAQs. You should review the rules and regulations associated with the type of booth you want before selecting space to ensure that your layout will work with that type of booth. Booth building guidelines. Freeman and LVCC are enforcing booth diagrams to include engineering stamps. More information on this can be found in the Exhibitor Services Manual. We will go through each type of booth types at IBIE: island, split island, peninsula, inline, perimeter, and multi-story booths. Demonstrations. Next slide, please. As a matter of safety and a courtesy to others, exhibitors must conduct sales presentations and product demonstrations in a manner that assures that all exhibitor personnel and attendees are within the contracted exhibit space and not encroaching on the aisle or neighboring exhibits. For example, any TV monitors should not face the aisle and if they will be presenting or having demonstrations. "50-foot booth spaces. Exhibit booths greater than 50 feet wide. The LVCC will require the distance within the exhibit booth or exhibit booth enclosure to an exit access aisle shall not exceed 50 feet. So what that means is if your booth has a side that is greater than 50 feet, you cannot have 3 solid walls around your booth. You must have at least 2 ways to exit the booth. The reason why the diagram on the right would not be approved is because it only has 1 way to exit the booth and the other 3 sides are solid walls or machinery. The diagram on the left is acceptable because there are multiple ways to exit the booth. Only one side of the booth has a solid wall. Next up, island booths. Here is a diagram of an island booth. Islands and split islands can build up to 20 feet in all areas of their booth and can have a hanging sign that hangs up to 20 feet from the floor to the top of the sign. Islands are open on all 4 sides and split islands back up to another split island, but also open on 3 sides. Here you can see a diagram of a split island. If you have an island or split island booth, you will be required to submit a booth drawing with dimensions to IBIE Show Management for review and approval by June 16, 2025. As a reminder, island booths are created on the floor plan by combining multiple 10 by 10 booths up to your selected size. Next up, we have peninsula booths. Peninsula booths are 20 by 20 booths that have inline booths behind it. Hanging signs are permitted in peninsula booths up to 20 feet from the floor to the top of the sign. It is important to note that when a peninsula booth backs up to inline booths, the back wall is restricted to 4 feet high within 5 feet of each aisle, permitting adequate line of sight for adjoining inline booths. If you have a peninsula booth, you will also be required to submit a booth drawing to Show Management for review and approval by June 16, 2025. Linear booths or inline booths are 10 feet deep and multiple can be combined to create a line of booths so that you can have a 10 by 10, 10 by 20, 10 by 50, and so on. It is important to be aware of sight lines for neighboring booths when you have an inline. The maximum height of 10 feet is allowed in the back of the booth, and structures within 5 feet of the aisle is restricted to 4 feet high. You can see the diagram here for a visual of this. Hanging signs are not permitted at inline booths. Next up, we have perimeter booths. These are linear booths that their backs up to an outside wall of the exhibit facility rather than another booth. All guidelines for linear booths apply to perimeter booths except that the maximum back wall height is 12 feet high. So same as the linear booths, you can combine 10 by 10 booths to create a 10 by 10, 10 by 20, 10 by 50, etc. It is important to be aware of sight lines for neighboring booths when you have this inline booth as well. The maximum height of 12 feet is allowed in the back half of the booth space, and structures within 5 feet of the aisle are restricted to 4 feet high. Hanging signs are also not permitted in perimeter booths. Next up, we have our double-decker or multi-story booths. These are a booth where the display fixture includes 2 or more levels. Multi-story exhibits require approval and building permits from the LVCC and the fire marshal. Exhibitors should obtain permits early on to ensure that all time constraints are met, and Show Management will also need to review and approve booth space and diagrams by June 16, 2025. Critical dates and important timeline. Just to note one more time, space selection for members with the highest priority points will take place March 18 to 26, 2024. Our non-member and past exhibitors will take place during this week. Open sales will be assigned booths in April 2024 based on first come, first served basis as exhibitors submit contracts and payments. All right, now it's time for questions. Ingrid, do we have any questions come in during the webinar?
I do not see any yet, but let's give our exhibitors some time to submit. So reminder, if you have any questions, click on your chat feature and type in your message in the chat. Also a reminder, as Alyssa mentioned, this exhibitor webinar is being recorded and posted on the IBIE website on the exhibitor resources page, probably within 24 hours. If you guys have additional questions, I don't see any chat questions in here, so we'll give you guys another minute or so. I still don't see anything in the chat. Let me check the question section. Hold on one moment. There's someone that says, I'm having issues with not hearing you. Alyssa, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like some people are putting the questions. Okay, not in the chat. Okay. Can you have someone resend my space selection time and link? We will definitely send that over. I see who you are, so we will look into that and send it over to you. Will we receive this slide deck to share with our teams? The slide deck is being recorded and we will post it on the IBIE website within 24 hours. Can someone have, oh, another question for resending the space selection link? Yes, of course, we will definitely get that sent over. If I choose the North Hall, can I still choose a space in the West Hall? Yes, you can choose North or West. If you're asking if you can select two booths, one in the West and one in the North, that's also yes as well. Can you clarify the dates for non-members to sign up? The dates for non-members are the 22 exhibitors. So all of ABA, BIMA, RBA members will select space on Monday, March the 18th and Tuesday, March the 19th. All other non-member 22 exhibitors will start on Wednesday. Will Freeman be handling this show? Yes. Will you be sending out this PowerPoint deck? We answered that one already. Yes, on the website. What is the blue 10-foot no cross aisle? The 10-foot and the 20-foot no cross aisle means that if you're selecting booths, you cannot combine them over the cross aisles. So if you're combining booths, the 10 by 10s, you can combine them within the aisle space. I didn't get a booth selection email. How do I request it? We'll reach out to you to confirm if your company was eligible for participation in space selection. Can we have a copy of the slides? Yes, of course. Same thing, copy of the slide. I think I missed the email with the date and time. We will look at the list and send it over to you again. Are the booths required to have rigid sides and backs for exhibits? I'm not sure what that question means. I will circle back with the person who inquired about that one. Can you show a live demo of what the site will be like when we are making, hold on, I can't see the rest of it. Making selections. Yes, I will do that in a few minutes. I can show you, we'll be on Zoom and we'll be taking a look at the floor plan. It's literally the floor plan that's on the website, but I can log in and show you guys the floor plan. Do we know when hotel rooms will be available to book? Yes, I believe it's June. Exhibitors will be able to start booking hotel rooms. Will there be a downloadable document of space types to view outside of the recording? Yes. We also have our rules and regulations document also included on the IBIE website. So you would click on for exhibitors and then exhibitor resources page. There's a link in there to our full exhibitor rules and regulations there, and it has in there the actual booth types. If we had exhibited prior to 22, are points available for selection? If we had exhibited prior to 22, are points available for selection? Yes, so if you exhibited in 2019 or in previous show cycles, points are calculated as well. We don't drop those points. So yes, you will still earn points from the previous years that you've participated with IBIE. If I chose the North Hall, can I still choose a space in West? Yes. Can we have a copy of the webinar? Of course. Should we ignore hotel requests? Yes. I am strongly suggesting that anytime that you guys are looking to book hotels or exhibitor services manual, always go to the IBIE website. Even if you get an email and you're not sure if it's IBIE branded, people are really getting very fancy now of copying and being unofficial. So make sure if you have any questions before you purchase anything, go to the IBIE's website and link in or click on any of our links from the website, not from an email if you have any inkling that it could be spam. How can we avoid being placed next to machinery booths? Last year we had issues with noise levels. Honestly, it really just depends on when you're selecting space. And with any trade show, based on the time slot or priority point order that you're in, it varies based on the companies who are selecting before you. And there's no guarantee of after you select your space, if another company with their booth assigned may have machinery. So there's no way for IBIE to technically say, you know, is there a protocol per se of being placed next to machineries? As Alyssa mentioned, just make sure that you guys continue to look at the floor plan, take a look at your placement, and make sure that you're, happy with that location. Another person asked, I can't find your booth selection time, and we'll send that out to you all. Are the West and North the same halls IBIE used last time? Yes, we're still using West and North. When will room blocks be available to select? In June. I like the link to space selection. Thanks. So we will look up your information and have that resent over to you. I had chose North on the application. I wasn't sure. That's fine. We just wanted to have an idea of where you were going during space selection. As booth inventory goes out, you will be able to select booth availability during your space selection time. So it's okay if you selected one on the application and want to change. Someone asked, what's the difference between the North and the West Hall? There's no difference as far as IBIE is concerned. We do not segment any of our booths or halls, so you can choose whichever hall that best suits you, your company's strategic plan, and your products. Can a larger space be reserved during booth assignments? Of course. I'm assuming that this person is asking if they submitted an application for 400 square feet, can they select 600 square feet during space selection? And absolutely, you can increase your booth size for sure. What type of exhibitors go to the West Hall versus North Hall? So like manufacturing, are they usually in Western North? Again, same message here. We do not segment North versus West. So exhibitors can choose whichever hall they want to go in. Is it important to have walls set up to separate you from other vendors? I'm not sure what this means. Is it important to have walls set up to separate you from other vendors? Some booth designs, I believe I understand what you're saying. Some booth designs do have walls. And when you say important, it could be important for multiple reasons. The structure of the booth, the design of the booth, the strategic plan. So there's a lot of factors that go into answering that question. So I'm hoping that I was able to assist there. I did not get a booth selection either. We will make sure that you get your email call-in time. We are members and our space selection shows as 321. That could be very well true. The 18th and 19th, oh, well, it's your members. You know what, let me double check that and I'll circle back with you regarding your member status. Because we do have members Monday and Tuesday, the 18th and the 19th. Another one that didn't get their booth selection email, I would just say, can you guys make sure that two things. One, are you the person that completed the application? And then number two, can you check your spam? Obviously, we will go back and send it as well, but we just want to make sure that you guys are receiving our communications even moving forward as well. Someone just asked if you can repeat the selection priority dates, March 18th and 19th for members, and then all non-members, 22 exhibitors after. Will I receive an email regarding dates and times? Yes. And I think this was the same. If we just have a backdrop set up, would it be best to be in a linear or perimeter booth? Perimeter booth, if you're along the wall, you can go up to 12 feet with your back wall. So I'm not sure what size your back wall is. If your back wall is taller than 8 feet, you could do perimeter. If you're linear within a row of booths that are not along the wall, like the building wall, you have to stay at 8 feet. So depending on your backdrop size, height, will depend on where you can be placed, perimeter or linear. Oh, hotel rooms available June 24 or 25, as someone asked. It's 24, yes, we're almost there. Great question. Is the floor plan broken into sections like packaging and energy efficient technologies? We do not have any segments of the floor. Hotel available June of 2024, yes. When we look at booth options in real time, will it show the names that are in 10 spaces? Absolutely, it will show the booth taken out of inventory and it'll have the exhibiting company name on the booth. When we look at booth options in real time, wait, hold on, sorry. Can you tell me the point structure, how it works? There is full instructions on priority points on the IBIE website under For Exhibitors, and it's called Priority Points. You can definitely read through all of the criteria, how you earn points. It's very detailed, so I would suggest that you go to the website and review. Any questions that you have, you can definitely reach out to us at exhibits@bakingexpo.com. How do I know my number of points, AKA what is my position on the list? Yes, also on the website, we have under that same For Exhibitors and priority points, there's also a list in alpha order and priority point order of your company name and your position. Who should I speak with if my points don't add up to what they should? You can send an email to exhibits at bakingexpo.com, and then we'll research it with our ABA team to confirm your questions regarding your priority points. Next question, do you have a file of 2019 that we can look at to see where we were? It depends. So 2019, we were in North and Central, and now we're in North and West. So depending on where you were, if it was in North, then yes, it would make sense to see where you were. But if you were in Central, it's a totally different hall. So we'll reach out to you. Whenever the last show was, 22. Yes, the 22 floor plan is actually on the website as well For Exhibitors, and you click on the drop down and you'll see the 22 floor plan link, and you'll also see the 2025 floor plan link. Okay. Someone asked the same question, how do you find out what hall you were in last, IBIE, North and West? You can take a look at the website and review the 2022 floor plan out there. Ingrid is saying that the exhibitor housing opens in June, but on the exhibitor resources page, it says April. We'll take a look at that. I thought it was June, but I'll confirm that on the website. Okay. The question of rigid slides refers to whether the hall is pipe and drape versus the island booths being required to have hard, rigid panels as part of their booth design. Some companies do create walls. Pipe and drape are for the linear booths, so 10 by 10, 10 by 20. So all of the linear booths will have pipe and drape. If you have a peninsula or a split island or an island booth, they will not have pipe and drape. I'm assuming that's what this person is inquiring about. This person is asking, I'm also a member and my appointment is on a different date than the 18th and the 19th. Is that possible? Again, it depends on your membership status. If you have not paid up your membership dues for ABA, BEAM, or RBA, I'm not sure which association you're a part of, but if you have not paid those membership dues, it is possible for you to be later, but we will reach out to you to confirm if you've paid up your membership dues. Okay. Who will the booth selection email come from? It came from our exhibits@bakingexpo.com email. Can you check if my company's date is 3/20 is correct? As they believe that they're a member. We can definitely check to see if you're a member, but make sure you guys are checking with your associations, whether ABA, BEAM, or RBA. You reach out to them ASAP, and if you haven't paid those membership dues, then you're going to be in having your space selection on a separate date. But you have to reach out to ABA, BEAM, or RBA ASAP. How does the payment installments change if selecting a booth space larger than what we submitted on the application. The installments doesn't change, but it's either going to be an increase and we'll just invoice you for the increase. There's no, if you decrease your space, there's a penalty for that. But the installments, we will invoice you if you increase. So you have a little bit more time to pay, I believe is what you guys are asking. If you increase your space during space selection, we will invoice you for the difference in cost. Can you send me your calculation for my priority point number? You can also look on the website. I believe this person is asking for additional information as opposed to just your total number or where you stand based on your priority number. In West Hall, the dark blue dots are the building pillars. The other small rectangle marks, are they electrical ports? Yes, they are floor ports, so it could be drain, plumbing, etc. So yes, that's a good question. Thank you for paying attention to that. How do I choose between north and west? What criteria can I use as a basis? There is no criteria. Again, IBIE does not segment each halls. You can select to be wherever you want based on availability. Our organization is a member, but we have an appointment on March 21st. Again, I see a lot of people saying that they are members, and I know the ABA, BIMA, RBA team reached out. So you will likely need to reach out to them again to make sure that your membership status is where it should be to participate in round one. On this webinar, you said priority space selections the 18th and 19th, but on the website it says the 18th through the 26th. Can you please confirm which one is correct? So we have 7 days actually of space selection. And what we mean by that is for the 18th and the 19th, those are members, the top priority 45 exhibiting companies. And then we have the other ones as well. When does hall open for booth construction? Booth move-in is going to be based on a targeted move-in floor plan. So it would depend on where your booth is located in the hall, will determine when you will start setting up your booth space. And that's more to come in the exhibitor services manual later this year. Should I RSVP to submit your intent if I feel like my points? Yes, you definitely need to RSVP so that we have an idea that you're going to select your space. So definitely do that. And if your points are incorrect based on what you see on the website, definitely email us at exhibits@bakingexpo.com and we'll filter that through the ABA team to review your priority points. Okay, so linear will have pipe and drape for all linear booths, correct. Pipe and drape meaning that it is a softer divider between you and the other vendors. Yes, it's pipe and it's draped like cloth material. Yes, so there are no hard walls for the linear booths is what I believe you guys are asking there. Yes. Should we have received the booth selection email already? Yes. We sent out the emails on March the 7th. Who do I contact for my appointment time as I'm a member and my current, oh, I just got a note. So I think I need to clarify, let me clarify membership status. I apologize. Let me clarify membership status. The top 45 exhibitors are on the 18th and 19th. I apologize for that. I was wondering why so many emails were coming in about membership. So the top 45 exhibiting companies are on the 18th and 19th, but then there are still member companies after that. So I apologize for that. I just got a notification that says to explain it further. So hopefully that answered you guys' questions. And if it didn't, make sure you email us at exhibits@bakingexpo.com and I'll be sure to answer those questions. Okay. Who do we reach out to for membership, as membership is paid and I'm not getting to pick my booth selection until non-members? I will keep asking the question, but don't say who to reach out to. Your membership can be with either association, ABA, BEAM, or RBA. So I'm not sure, you know, the person who asked this question, which organization are you a member of? And it looks like that is all of the questions that we have so far. Okay, a few more came in. It says, if you're not the top 45 members, when is your space selection? It's all flowing based on priority points. So if you look at the priority point list on the IBIE website, basically what it means is that it's still in priority point order. So there's no one going out of order. We're just selecting the top 45 priority type exhibitors. Priority point numbers don't change. We're still going in the order. And so exhibitors who are members, with the clarification I just made a second ago, you guys will still be members based on your priority point order. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know when the cutoff is. Alyssa, can you look and see what the cutoff day is between member and non-member? I think that's going to help answer a lot of these questions.
Sure, give me 1 second.
Thank you. Will the convention center doors to the West Hall be unlocked when entering from the parking lot? The Diamond parking lot? It should be, but that's I can double check on that. You mentioned non-members get to choose after the 19th. Why does a member choose with a non-member? It depends on the priority point order. So we're not, I'm assuming on the same day. So as soon as Alyssa confirms when the membership cutoff, so it's continuous. So our space selection time is continuous, meaning that starting on the 18th, we go through the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, Monday through Friday. Then we start again on Monday the 25th and Tuesday the 26th. And what I mean is that based on your priority points, there's a continuous flow. So we go from member to non-member based on priority points. So this question, you mentioned non-members get to choose after the 19th. Why does a member choose with a non-member? You're not choosing, you can be on the same day technically, but all members are going to go first before 22 exhibitors. Could I review the details on how priority points were calculated for my company? I believe there may be an error. Absolutely, we will take a look. We have your name in there. And I will work with the ABA team to review those with you. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anyone. Will the convention center doors, we talked about that.
Ingrid?
Yes.
So the cutoff for members and non-members, the non-members will begin picking their booths on Monday, March 25th. So we have members selecting their booths all the way through Monday, March 25th.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so all of the questions that came in inquiring about their membership status, again, I apologize. It's the top 45 on the 18th and 19th, and then we will continue with the rest of the members based on your priority point. And thank you, Alyssa. All of the non-members, meaning the 22 exhibitors who are not members, will start on Monday the 25th. That makes sense. Okay, thank you. I did not receive an email saying my application was approved. I haven't seen anything nor been invoiced for a deposit yet, and therefore I have not received a selection date. We need to take a look at this for that question. I'm not really sure when the application was submitted. The application deadline was February 13th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So I'm not sure when your application was submitted. And there's a few more that just came in. Is space selection time in Central Time Zone? Yes. Maybe an example helps. We are listed under ranking on 229.24 and our number is 329. So more than likely, that's probably going to be on Monday. Where can I find the online priority points for our company? I'm sure this was covered. It is on the IBIE website at www.bakingexpo.com, and then click on For Exhibitors, and then click on Priority Points, and you scroll all the way down. You can see an alpha list and a priority point list to find your company priority points there. Someone just said, what does this mean? I'm not sure what you're asking there. You're probably sending it before I jump to another question. So maybe if you could, whoever asked this question, maybe send another chat. Is there a published list of the top 45 in order? If you look at the priority point list, the top 45 is that list, basically. So the top 45 companies on that priority point list on the website. Oh, someone said, never mind, I found it. Great. Okay, you can get in touch and advise our status. Okay. All right. It looks like what website to go to look at old floor plan. The IBIE website. So go to bakingexpo.com, click on For Exhibitors, and then there's a drop down that says IBIE 2022 floor plan, and that's where you can see last show cycle's floor plan. Okay. Someone said they submitted their application on February 28th. The deadline was February the 13th. I think, just to clarify, the floor plans to be submitted are June 2025, and the booking for hotel starts in June 2024. That is correct, yes. Great question, June and June, that is correct. Okay. All right, so it looks like a lot of the questions have been answered, and someone had asked, I'm not sure if they're even still on right now, of what the floor plan looks like. So I am going to quickly share my screen with a floor plan. Could you please clarify once more if the halls will be separate for equipment such as baking equipment and ingredients? No. So IBIE does not separate the halls based on product. So you can select as an exhibitor to be in either north or west. Okay. We were told we would get an email, but did not. Who do I contact? If you can email us at exhibits@bakingexpo.com, we will take a look at your company name. Again, the contract submission deadline date was February 13th. So if you did not submit your contract by then you would not have received a call-in time email. So let me share my screen here. I'm gonna close out of there. Okay. Are you guys able to see the floor plan? Alyssa, can you see the floor plan?
Yes, I can see it.
Great. All right, someone had asked about the floor plan. So you'll be able to select from the West Hall and or the North Hall. I'll just click over here. I'll go to the North Hall. Okay, and so on the North Hall, we have the Baker Center. We've identified the columns as best as we can so that you guys are aware of any restrictions here. If you zoom in as you're walking through space selection with your salesperson, if there are any height restrictions. So here you can see there's like 14-foot height max here where you won't be able to have a hanging sign. So just make sure when you're talking to the sales team that you're asking them to zoom in, zoom out, to determine based on your company's needs that you're selecting space. I was going to also show like this. These are like building structures, right? So you just want to make sure that you're paying attention to the floor plan. I'm also going to call out here this last in, first out. And what these mean is that Freeman, our decorator, last in means that if you select this space here, you're going to be one of the last exhibitors set up. And what that means is the freight doors are right here. And so Freeman will be using their equipment to come in and out. So you'll be the last booth that's to be set up with your pipe and drape. And first out means that when the show closes, you're going to have to pack up really quick and get your stuff out of there, moved out of there so Freeman can remove that. That's what that means. And then let me look really quickly to the West Hall so that you guys can see the West Hall. It's taking a second here. Your view is going to be a little bit different. I'm just inside of our views. So Alyssa talked about the Artisan Village. She talked about the International Trade Center, the Pie Festival. We have the new wholesale education stage. And then we also have the snack pavilion over here. And we have the pet pavilion over here. The entrances are the same. So we have West 1, they call it W1, W2 entrance, W3, and W4. I think someone asked a question about if these doors were going to be open to the parking, and they should be, so I'll confirm that, but that's definitely a question I'll check on. We have ABA BEMA here again. This is the West building, and this is in the main lobby here for our associations. We'll be there. And I think that's pretty much it, but this is the West and the North Hall where you guys will be choosing your booth choices. Let me see if there are any more questions before we jump off here. Okay. I don't see any other questions in here. So I think we're good to go. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining our first webinar. And for the people who we need to get back to or to send us an email at exhibits at, please make sure you send us an email ASAP. And then we will circle back to make sure that you guys have your call-in times for the individuals who requested resend for their call-in time, if you are qualified to participate. All right, well, thank you guys so much and have a great day.